We're getting super spoilery here, revealing the true identity of Zendaya's Spider-Man Homecoming character on today's Nerdist News. The identity of Zendaya's character in Spidey's upcoming solo flick has been so tightly guarded and speculated upon, we weren't sure we'd really find out who she was until we were already sitting in the theater, and even then, we could have been duped. But amazingly, the time has come, and the mystery character Michelle has been revealed in the most unepic way of all, through the junior novelization of the film. Well, none of us saw this coming, especially since Michelle's potential secret connection to Peter was such a major source of fan speculation. But since we don't want to be the ones to spoil your fun or spoil the real roots of Zendaya's Michelle for you, we're gonna break down this news by first revealing who Michelle isn't, then giving you a big honking spoiler warning before we drop the true knowledge on you. Now, die-hard Spidey comics fans have speculated that Michelle could be a younger version of Michelle, a police officer character who Peter dates in the comics. Now, this could have been a very cool way to bring the cop character into Spidey's on-screen world, and with Michelle's probing interrogation of Peter in the trailer and her no-nonsense manner, we thought this theory was very plausible. But we now know that Michelle is not... Get that theory out of here. Another early theory was that Zendaya's character is a tried and true love interest for Spidey. We know that we love a good When Harry Met Sally. First they hate each other, then they love each other, start to a classic couple, but we also know that Liz Allen is going to be Peter's main lady love in Homecoming, so we can definitely roll out the theory that Michelle is a reimagined Mary Jane Watson. Now, similar to the thought that Michelle could be an earlier version of Mary Jane, some might speculate she could be another prominent Spidey romantic lead, Gwen Stacy. This was not one of the big theories that took hold of the interwebs, but we can for sure rule out the possibility that Michelle is a young reincarnated Gwen Stacy. And as for Spidey's Supergirl friends, don't expect to see Michelle as a high school version of Black Cat, Ms. Marvel, or Cindy Moon anytime soon. I mean, of course she's not Gwen Stacy. Look at her neck. It's fine. Now that we've revisited some of the possibilities, it's time for the reveal. This is your major superpowered Super Soaker spoiler warning, so click away now if you do not want to know who Zendaya's character Michelle truly is in Spider-Man Homecoming. For reals, spoiler alert. I'm gonna say it now, here it comes. We now know that Michelle's last name is Toomes. As in related to Adrian Toomes, the Vulture. So it looks as though Michelle is the daughter of the Vulture, to be played by a man who's made his career of playing characters named after flying animals and isn't about to stop now, Michael Keaton. We found out a few months ago that the Vulture is sort of like an everyman's Tony Stark running a salvaging company and building a suit and other tech from recovered alien goods and super advanced artifacts that he finds on the battlefields. Remember the Chitauri invasion? Yeah, that's in his suit. Keaton's Vulture will likely go head to head with Big Stark when Tony moves in on his cleanup business, creating the sort of perfect parallel for big business versus locally owned. This is an artisanal Vulture suit, not like the kind you'd get at the Apple Store, Tony. Now, in the comics, Adrian Toomes doesn't have a daughter named Michelle. His daughter's name is Valeria, and she has quite the story arc herself. Valeria becomes estranged from her dad when her parents split up, and though Papa Toomes goes down the path of darkness and becomes the Vulture, Valeria diverges from her dad's villainous path and eventually ends up becoming an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, if Michelle, who appears to be a new character created for this film, does in any way follow Valeria's arc, we could see her being a positive presence and ultimately someone who fights on Spidey's side. On the other hand, the last time we saw a dynamic villainous parent and child duo in the Spideyverse was Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn as the Green Goblin and the Green Gob's son, respectively. And though director John Watts would likely not want to retread that territory in the same way, having Adrian and Michelle as prominently featured as they've been so far in the Spidey marketing makes us wonder if Michelle could, even briefly, wind up joining her dad's team and directly opposing both Spider-Man and Stark. Now this makes sense since Spidey does have a tendency to get tangled up in his web of personal allies and villains. I mean, take a look at Spider-Man 2, for example, where his personal mentor ends up being the big bad Dr. Octopus, aka Doctopus. It's canon. I invented Spider-Man. His name is Doctopus. But rather than a straight-up retread, a Vulture and Child team up against Spidey might just be a way to show the side of old Webhead that doesn't always have a good, wait for it, Spidey sense for who's secretly fighting against him. Get it? Because that's his thing. Anyway. But whether she's on her dad's side and works against the interest of Tony Stark and Spider-Man, or ends up finding out her dad has turned bad and joined Spider-Man's side, Michelle seems to be very much redeemable, and we think she could be a great addition to Spidey's crew as someone who keeps him on his toes. Also, Zendaya is awesome, and we already want to see more of her in the Spideyverse for whatever comes after Homecoming. Prom? I don't know. But what do you folks think? Will Michelle become one of the good guys? And is Peter Parker a good judge of character? No, he's not. Let's discuss. Now, if you like this story, be sure to check out Nerdist News Talks Back. It's our live daily show where we chat about the biggest stories of the day. And we also take bets on what's going to come out of Jessica's mouth next, usually a swear word or some coffee. And we do it live every day at 1 p.m. on YouTube and ProjectAlpha.com. It's a good time, trust me, and trust your inner Dan, which is just me but smaller.